is SSLFamilyDad with Simple Suburban Living, and today we're going to be working on a little project adding on to the chicken coop here. And basically what I want to do is just make a watering system in the chicken coop that is kind of maintenance free. So I don't want to have to clean out the water every day. I understand if we have to add some water to it every day or two, but I want to get away from cleaning the water dish out every day. So what I did was I went on to Amazon, and you can get these at the local farm store and stuff like that, but these are called poultry nipples or chicken nipples. But basically these will screw into the bottom of a bucket, or in this case we're going to be screwing it onto the bottom of a PVC pipe that'll be filled with water, and the chickens just kind of come up. It's almost like the little hamster, the little hamster waterers, but they just tap the bottom of this metal and a little bit of water comes out. So I bought a package of these for like 10 bucks, I think it was, for 10 of them. Basically what we're going to do is I'm going to make a watering system that's going to mount inside the chicken coop out of PVC pipe, and we're going to drill some holes in the bottom of the pipe here to screw these in. I'm going to put 3 of them in the chicken coop and then 3 of them underneath the chicken coop so that they can get to water whether they're inside or outside, and also during the winter. So just going to go through some of the basics of using PVC glue and fittings and getting things kind of put together. Obviously for your chicken coop this is going to be different. Everybody's is going to be designed a little differently, so you'll have to obviously figure out how you want to mount things and run the water. But the basics here are going to be the same. So we'll go ahead and take you in close and just show you some of the specifics of putting some of the PVC pipe together and mounting these in the PVC. Okay, so just some general stuff about PVC fitting. So in this case I'm using 2-inch PVC. I wanted to use 3-inch because it would hold more water, but in this case I ended up choosing just to do 2-inch. So I went out and got a bunch of fittings, 2-inch elbows and pipe and things like that. Whatever you need to make your particular system work. The other thing that you're going to need is this type of primer. This is important to use when you're using these PVC fittings. This actually gets the surface of the plastic ready for the glue. So PVC primer is important to have, and then regular PVC glue as well. It doesn't matter what brand, any PVC glue is fine. So you want to prepare the inside of all the joints that you're going to be putting together with the purple primer, and then obviously you also want to prepare the end of the piece of pipe that you're going to be fitting into there with that purple primer as well. Let that dry for a few minutes, or a few seconds I guess, and then you want to put a layer of glue, and then you want to press the fitting in and turn it about 90 degrees. And that just actually, you're actually welding the plastic together, so it's going to melt this plastic together and that stuff will never come apart. So that's just kind of the basics of what we're going to be doing here to join these fittings together. This piece of pipe here is going to be actually where the poultry nipples are going to be mounted in the bottom of this. And at one end I have what's going to be called a clean out, and this is basically just a fitting with some threads in it, and this will have a cap that just gets screwed right into the fitting here. And the reason that I'm doing this on the end is so that we may end up getting some debris in this, and I want to be able to clean this out if I need to. So I'll be able to unscrew this and look in here and kind of sweep this out or drain this out at the bottom. So I'm using that to cap off the one end, and then the other end of this is going to be going up into a standpipe that's going to actually hold some extra water, and then in the bottom here will be the poultry nipples. Now these poultry nipples there's a couple different kinds you can get, but these ones here are actually threaded on one side. And so what you need to do is, I'm using an 11/32 drill bit, and I'm going to be drilling holes in this. And then once you have the hole drilled wherever you want it, you take a bolt that fits 11/32 hole, and you're going to thread that bolt into the plastic, and that actually threads your hole, so it's like a tap. It makes threads in that hole, and then you can take your poultry nipple and just screw it right in. They've got a little rubber seal on the end of it here to seal that up, and they shouldn't leak. So that's how we're going to be attaching these, and we'll go ahead and get some of this put together and show you the progress. Alright, so we've got everything put together here, and this is kind of the final product. I'll walk you through and just show you how everything works. And you can design this however it will work in your chicken coop, but this is kind of how we have it set up, just in the way that this is designed. So I just have about a 3.5 foot piece of pipe, and I just use those clamps to clamp it right to the wall. And I've got a clean out on the end there. So this is the inside of the chicken coop, and that will hold from this 2-inch pipe along the bottom all the way up to the top, and that goes right out, and that's where you fill the system up with water. And then all the way down to here, this is about a gallon of water, a little over a gallon, about a gallon and a half, that holds in that section of it. And then this also tees down and out, and then that goes around to the bottom section underneath, so when they're outside during the day they can get water as well, and I'll show you that here in a moment. So that's the inside of the coop. Kind of step back here, hopefully the wind isn't too bad. And that's what it looks like on the inside. And going around the back here of the chicken coop. So this is where that bottom pipe comes out, and it just goes right around the back and goes, and I've got those J hooks just holding that piece of pipe up. It's about a 3.5 foot piece of 2-inch pipe as well, and I've got the poultry nipples on the bottom. So, and that clean out right at the end here. So if I unscrew that, it'll drain the whole system out. But everything seems to be, hold water. There was a couple drips there the first night I filled it up, but everything seems to have kind of seated and sealed up. I was thinking about putting some Teflon tape around these threads on these, but it looks like I didn't need to. The system's full of water right now, and there's no leaks, so that's a good thing. Chickens have been doing pretty good with it. Some of them have been using it regularly. Some of them have still been using the other water, which I will take out of there in a couple days once they kind of get more used to this. But you just have to kind of take their beaks up and tap it on the thing so they see water comes out, and when they get thirsty, they'll start looking for water and remember that they got some there. So they're real easy for them to drink because they need to tilt their heads back to drink anyway. So it seems to be working really well. So the whole system, and I show you the fill up here. This is the top pipe comes out right here, and then this is where you fill it. So all you do when you want to fill it is just pop the little cap off and stick the hose in there, or pour a pitcher of water in there, or whatever you want to do, and that fills up the whole system. So the whole pipe with the inside pipe, and then the pipe that comes out here, and all this, all together it's about 2.5 gallons of water just held in the pipe, and which is plenty of water for probably a couple days. They don't drink that much water every day. So I know once they get bigger they'll drink more, but they don't drink too much. So that should be enough to keep them going for a couple days. I'll just come out here and top it off every day or two. Also in the winter time, since this is outside of the coop, this is probably going to freeze. So what I will probably do is either I will put a valve here on this so I can shut the outdoor part of it off in the winter time, and then just keep the water on the inside, which will stay warm enough, and that'll hold about 1.5 gallons of water itself. Or I can wrap this with heat tape and just kind of wrap that all up, and I'm going to run electricity out here, so that should keep the water warm in there and also cycle up into the inside portion of it. So, but system's working pretty well so far. So if I want to add on to it, if I decide I want to, not have to fill it with water every couple days, I could. I'm thinking about putting a gutter on this roof here and having it kind of screen off and filter into the system, or I can hang a bucket or something over here and tie it into the system down there and fill that with water and pipe it in. So there's a lot of ways you can expand this and change it however you want to. You can use bigger pipe, 3-inch pipe, which will hold more water as well. I use 2-inch just because it was cheaper. So, but anyway, so that's pretty much the gist of the whole system here. Hopefully the wind is not too bad. And again, about 2.5 gallons of water is what it holds total, and been working really well so far. So hopefully this gives you some ideas if you're trying to design something like this yourself. And if you already have something like this and you have any suggestions or comments or things that other viewers might find useful, please throw it in the comment section. I always appreciate that. But I appreciate you watching, and if you want to see any further updates on the chicken coop, I've got a few other things to do. I've got to mobilize the chicken tractor yet, and I have to work on the feeding system. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You'll get an update when those videos come out. I appreciate you watching today. Have a good one.